playing a very deep position at the start of this second half. Kuzmanovic forward. Beza just holding the ball up. He's a big, strong lad, Tanzil Beza, holding off his man with consummate ease. In South Melbourne, nice passage of play for them. Trimboli lost it though. Besvanovsky and Lukovsky's forward. He's onside. Anastasiadis right out of his goal. He would have to be 40 yards out of his goal, and he clobbered Lukovsky there. I'm sure Lukovsky couldn't believe it that a goalkeeper was right on top of him when he ran onto that through ball.
Yeah, I think he was in a great position there, Paul, and the surprise of Dean Anastasiadis is charging into him, and Dean Anastasiadis is doing a great sweeping job there, a crunching sliding tackle and clearing the ball over the halfway line.
But there'll be a drop ball on the halfway. Play continues. Peterson, who's had more touches than anyone in the match so far. And South Melbourne begin again. Konblatzis on the halfway. Mangos inside. Switching play now. Kuzmanovic. Just creeping into the Preston half now. Flicked on by Trimboli. Ball goes back to Rajkovsky. Forced to clear long. Not a great clearance. A little 9-iron rather than a big hoof down the park. South Melbourne in possession again. Anthopoulos. Scrappy start to the second half from both sides. South Melbourne, of course, as my co-commentator alluded to earlier, will really want to have a good victory here so that they can continue to get some match practice in the Dockerty Cup before the NSL starts. Preston could be in action again if they can produce some kind of comeback here. Wednesday night is the next round of Dockerty Cup games as Coveney forces his way into the area and powers the ball past the goalkeeper for South Melbourne's third goal.
Well, that's quality, Paul, from a striker. He's seen the little gap there. He's knocked the ball forward, opened them legs of his and got past the defence and then just got the strike. Wasn't a dynamic strike. It wasn't overhit, but he's beat the goalkeeper and he's given South Melbourne the cushion now.
South Melbourne push out very quickly. I just wonder if this new offside game that they're playing is something that Frank Alrock's experimenting with today, or whether it's planned for the season. But as soon as his side gets a touch on a ball, they all push out very quickly.
Yeah, as soon as they get the clearance, Paul, they do. They push up, and as we've seen earlier in the game, there was 2 opportunities where Preston caught them. And have a look now, 3 against 3, and there they go again. They're caught again.
This time Preston beat the trap because they all stayed in their own half, and it's Besvanovsky forcing his way into the area, and he was pulled back, and that's a penalty for Preston. Clear holding there by Konblatzis on Sash Besvanovsky.
They sprung again, the offside trap, and it's a penalty.
Risky tactics indeed. And it didn't pay off for South Melbourne in this instance because Preston broke away. Besvanovsky, who has had a good game, and he has had his chances today as well, forced out the foul out of Blatzis, and it's Besvanovsky with a chance to take the spot kick, and he blasts it past Anastasiadis for Preston's first goal.
He's had a couple of opportunities, Paul, hasn't he? And unfortunately for him today, they haven't gone in. But he didn't mess around there, and we've seen a few penalties where players trying to place it and players are trying to con the goalkeeper into moving before they kick it. But Sash Besvanovsky put his head down and blasted it straight through into the net.
But Preston forward again. Number 2 down the right-hand side is Anthony Chodo. He'll take the throw-in. Preston crowd's just starting to sense that there's half a chance for their side here. The ball comes in, just past the post. The header there from Besvanovsky. Great try indeed. It was a half chance at best. Kuchelevsky, free on the left-hand side, takes a man on, takes 2 men on. Cross comes in. Anastasiadis comes, he fumbles it, it's been dropped, and South Melbourne can't clear it. Is this the goal for Preston? had to be forced away from goal. The cross comes over. Bespanovsky's there. The crowd appealing for a penalty. Comedy of errors in the South Melbourne penalty area, but they come away now with Trimboli. And a real let-off there, Frank.
Yeah, you called it, Paul. Comedy of errors it really was between Dean Anastasiadis and the South Melbourne defence there.
Little chip from Pender. Trimboli in possession now. Time to turn away. Mike Peterson. Couldn't find the run from Nikolic. Kuchelewski against South Melbourne forward. This time he's onside. Rob Stoichevski. He's through into the penalty area. Only Anastasiadis to beat. And a fine saving tackle indeed from Mangos. And again the offside trap fails. Frank Arrock's on his feet. I'm not sure whether it's the linesman he's abusing or the players. But either way, he'll be disappointed there. But not as disappointed as Stoichevski, who should have scored, Frank. Peterson now. Looking for Blatsis to make a run forward. Chance, good cross in, keeper stays. Fine goal by Steve Panopoulos to put the icing on the cake for South Melbourne.
Yeah, well, it all started with Mickey Peterson in possession there and really asking Con Blatsis, why are you standing back on the halfway line, and urging him forward, pushes the ball forward in front of him and gets Con Blatsis down the line, cross in, and thank you very much, Steve Panopoulos, probably one of the smallest guys on the park, gets the head on it and beats Tom Rutkowski quite comfortably there.
4-1 the final score then at Connor Reserve. Panopoulos and Coveney adding goals for South Melbourne. Sasha Bespanovsky with the penalty, almost giving Preston a lifeline halfway through the second half there, but in the end South Melbourne just way too good for the Preston Lions. By the way, the Preston Lions had just got back from Tasmania, their end of season trip, so they probably weren't in the best frame of mind for a tough quarter-final in the Dockerty Cup. Good look at South Melbourne's young players there, so many of them on show. In fact, really, in the older brigade, only Trimboli, Peterson and Kuzmanovic right through the centre of the field. The spine, really, for South Melbourne, and a sprinkling of young, talented players around those three veterans.
Ooh, no doubt about it, Paul. I think that's an incredibly concise summary of the situation. I must just tell you, too, Vaughan Coveney will be a huge asset for South Melbourne. He is a terrific player, and a quick run through of some of the players in the National League will tell you that Coveney is renowned for being the fastest player he was last year in the National Soccer League. He's got a lot of ability.
And just on Vaughan Coveney, last year he scored, I think, 12 goals for Wollongong in the National League, and he was the first player since 1980 or something to reach over double figures for Wollongong.
For Wollongong,
yeah.
Not a notoriously high-scoring side.
Not a high-scoring side at all.
So, good on Vaughan Coveney. The Kiwi, let's have a look at the other results in the Dockerty Cup, Diabetes Australia Dockerty Cup Quarter-Finals at the weekend. Bentley Greens 0, the Melbourne Zebras 2. Nick Lazarevsky and Harry Nata, the goal scorers in that game. And have a look at this now. Melbourne Knights, they're talking about how they're going to back up for back-to-back championships, the Melbourne Knights. Well, Melbourne Knights 9, Heidelberg United 1. And the goal scorers for the Melbourne Knights, Ollie Pondriak grabbing a hat-trick, Lipshansky 2, Damien Wojtek, V2, they've dubbed him, Andrew Mark Silic and Joe Spiteri all getting goals in that absolute rout of Heidelberg United. So that's a huge result for the Melbourne Knights and perhaps significant in what we can look forward to this season from the champions of the National League last year.
A little bit hard on Heidelberg though. I mean, they haven't played for 5 or 6 months, and then they've only got 2 or 3 games, and then they're not exactly going to be putting full effort into it, are they?
Hush now, Paulie. The Melbourne Zebras happen to win, and they're in the same situation. And of course, there was one other result. Now that means, of course, that the Melbourne Knights, the Melbourne Zebras, and South Melbourne are through to the quarter-finals. One other semi-finals, rather, the group of 4. But of course, one other result. Where am I? Thank you. One other result at the weekend, and that was the quarter-final between Altona Magic, the champions of the Premier League, and of course the Morwell Falcons from the Latrobe Valley. And we are going to now perhaps have a look at the goal highlights anyway from that game.